Greetings and welcome to Paint Here Now. I am Will Parody, and today we are going to continue our exploration with complementary colors and mixing different browns and grays. But what we're going to do today is we're going to add some white. And this is significant. You're going to see a big difference. While we used water and the white or off-white of the page here, and thinned out paint to let some of the colors get lighter, you're going to see an enormous difference when we add white and how light some of these darks can get and the absolutely intense range of hues and tones that we can get out of mixing a few colors together. It's really cool stuff. So we're going to start with one pair of complementary colors a day, I guess, for this week. It works out well. So we do 3 episodes a week, basically, and we've got 3 pairs of complementary colors. So look at that. So again, we're going to start with our red and green, and then we'll do our blue and orange, and then our purple and yellow. This is what we did last week. And look at these colors. Look at these dark, blackish grays and browns. I mean, this is an awesome palette of colors to use in any number of paintings, whether it's realistic or abstract. These are the colors that show up in shadows or in depths of things, behind things. A lot of these colors can be used to bring foliage, trees, things like that, or in even buildings or whatnot, back into the distance. If you wanted something that looks like it's more up front, then the thing that is going to be more in the distance, like a tree, will be a little bit more faded, a little bit more gray, and you add some complementary color to it, and that's how you can do it. And then that's how we get all of this. It's amazing how we can mix these colors. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn the page and start with a red and green exercise again, but adding some white this time. And we're just going to see all of the other different colors that we can get. Before we do that, I might as well show you. We like to use an ice cube tray, again, or some type of recyclable, reusable material. And acrylic paints, we've got some greens and reds in here. And I continue to use this same palette that I've been using for a while. A lot of the colors, they dry a little, but most of them get saved. I try to cover them up. Acrylics will dry very fast. And I like that, honestly, about acrylic paints. But you got to be careful if you want to keep them wet. And then we've used an old jar for water and different brushes. We're going to probably use brushes like this today, or where's that? I like this one. All right. Well, let's get to painting then, shall we? All right. Reds and greens. Here we go. We got a few different kinds of greens here. Let's start with this kind of darker green. And I'll lay it in a few places. Just kind of wherever, like almost like I'm painting an abstract piece, and where's my rhythm, where do I want? See, this is already a start of a nice little piece. So we'll do that. We leave that green in. Might as well have fun with it, right? Not just make a blotch and another blotch, and that's what painting is essentially, but might as well have fun with the blotches. So there we go. Add some of this green, and I'm going to take one of our reds. I'm using a couple different kinds of reds. I'm going to just do, well, a little bit like this and that, and then I'm going to add some more on some and less in other areas so that we have a bit of a mix, and then we'll just start mixing them in. And now I'm fairly thin on paper, so these are going to dry pretty quick, but again, look at this nice dark brownish color, brownish gray. And just see these neat darks we're getting. Oh, I like that one. Ooh, hoo, hoo. Purple almost. Just green on this one, yeah. So neat, look at this already. We mix a couple colors together with a few different measurements or whatnot, different ratios of color to color, and all these neat different colors in here. Now, white. and various amounts in different areas. And again, boom, look at the range of colors we're already starting to get. Different values. Add a little bit more. So from mixing two colors together, right in this one section, one example of mixing two colors together, you get all of these different colors that pop up. It's like mathematics, exponentially building out and building out kind of in a way. So neat stuff. Add a little bit more white in here, and nothing is exactly the same. So all of these do have slightly different ranges of values and tone. Let's add some more here. We'll keep playing around. This dries pretty quick. All a little bit different. We're going to actually add a little bit more of our base to this. So with a little bit of white on it already. It's a nice color. That's a really nice, rich, olive green color. Beautiful. And some more white in various degrees. And again, you can see all the tones, the usefulness. You want to make something look shading or gradiated, that kind of thing. Look, you've got colors that can do that. Plant life, it could be so many things. Water, and we will do a painting with the same kind of color exercise too. I think that's what we'll do next week. But in the meantime, really nice to see the range of the things you can do. Haven't even gotten to the other greens and reds yet. But so you can put a little bit of the warmer and lighter on here, or lighter on the darker. And just the range, again, using very few colors. And the difference between using the pure color and the white, adding that pastelliness, a soft subtleness, gives you a whole new range, not just of color and tones, a whole new range of emotions, a whole new range of feelings, a whole new range of storytelling in these lighter colors made with white. Look how neat that is already. Just coming alive, coming alive. Just let colors mix and see what they do. So look how cool. All right, let's add a little bit of white to some of these if they're still wet enough for that. So yes, as we figured, this one was going to be more on the red side, pink side. At this point, it's kind of a color that could be a bodily color. Could be a very useful color in doing a portrait even. Look at that. Make red and green. Red, green, and white. Very cool stuff. Let's add some more in here and see if we... This was a lot of green. We're going to add more. You can see what it does just right away to the green itself. A little red in here. It's not pure, but really make some neat stuff. That's nice. Look at that. Subtle little change with the red, but look how brings it to earth, brings it back. Add some more white in here. Light, really light. So like, let's say you're painting the ocean, for example, or water. Look at this light gray-green here that you can totally see this, right? You can see this color on the foam and underneath and out in the distance. Like, it's such a useful, awesome color. Highlight different things. I've got some plants out in the garden that are kind of like this, some curries and stuff with this kind of whitish green. So really neat range of colors and the different things you can do. White is a lot of fun. Yeah, that one a bit dried up on us, but I had a feeling it would. come back in and just add a little bit more of colors. Just to see. All right. Well, we get the idea here. I think what I want to do, it's going to be a bit dry. One more little example, if we can get a nice dark we had before. Close anyways, and then a little bit more white. See, so you just look at this. That's cool. You know, you just stroke it down and you just see all the different range of things, of colors. How neat that looks. You can do so much stuff with this. All these different colors. Beautiful. I mean, gosh, if I wanted to, I could turn this into like a cabin, right? Like a cabin roof, thatched roof. Go down. Well, I'm running out of paint, but on the brush, but you know. So it's the imagination. You make these strokes and these marks, and you try these different things, and then it associates to something that you can paint or leads your mind to another form of exploration. Now, I I'm very much an abstract painter, and I love that, but not everybody. Some people want to paint to things that they see, and I can encourage it. I do that as well, out in the world, plein air or open air painting, you know, every once in a while. I used to do it more regularly. Past couple of years, a little less, a lot of other things. But anyway, so it's very, very useful color mixing tools to be able to incorporate not only into abstract work, but certainly into realistic work. So let's move on to some fluorescent green and this red. We're gonna, you know, we're just gonna mix a bunch of colors in here and see what happens. So this is a little bit more on the red side, right? Kind of brown, kind of warm. Keep it a little more clumped. And then this will make a little bit more on the, whoops, wrong color. That's right. Huh. Well, anyways, we'll still mix this a little just for fun. Oh, that's nice and dark. That's cool. That's neat. Look at the range of things you can do, adding a little bit of white to your brush and just swirling around. Another neat color. Can be used in, you know, portraiture, rocks, sand, all kinds of different things. Same with this dark color. Portraiture, rocks, sand, all kinds of beautiful uses of the color. So there we have this fluorescent that's a little bit more on the red side. Let's put some up here that's a little bit more on the green side. That makes for a nice dark, earthy green. See, close but different to this other one that has the white in it because it's a slightly different, you know, different hue. But pretty cool stuff. Just a touch more red, I think, on this. Brings it down a little bit more. That's pretty nice. To the white. Again, very nice. Just to put a tiny little tinge of color into your white. It's just great. It's a way to highlight things, to pop out that little extra bit of light. Like I said, water, clouds, I mean, just very useful. So, the white really is powerful on this color. Sometimes some of these paints, especially like this fluorescent green, is a little like weak, I guess you could say, thin, color-wise. Not as heavily saturated, so the white will just kind of make more of an impact. Add a little bit more green and red in here. Again, very interesting, nice colors. That's a nice, getting nice and gray in here. Again, a nice rocky color. Add whites to this. The range is so neat. blend it in a little bit. Look like some rocks or something. But again, look at that awesome color, beautiful grayish or gray color. And that we can do some, like I showed you last week, some really cool stuff with a thin paint. And, you know, using the page to come through or the canvas. But it's not the same as using white, just the mood you can get, the range, the thickness of the paint that you can manipulate or work with. Manipulate's kind of a dark word, kind of, in a way. You can, yes, you can cooperate with. I like that. Much nicer. All right, let's move on to the next set. We got a good idea of what's going on here. Oh, I love these grays. It's just beautiful, and you can see the difference. But all of the different colors that you can use. And again, if you add, and I'll do a little bit of that. You start adding some pure color near it. Add a little bit more red. You can see how it pops, and you can see how in a painting you could use these colors really in the back, some things, and then use brighter colors in the front. Look at this as an abstraction even. You know how it pops. See, that's really cool. And we'll use a little bit of the darker green too in there. See the relationship with the white and the grays and the pure color. It's very, very important to just feel what this is like and see the difference and the space and the movement, and incorporate it into your vision of art as you continue to make it and explore and mix colors. So speaking of exploring and mixing colors, a little bit of this warmer red. And we'll put a couple clumps there, and we'll start with this darker green here, and then a different kind of a darker green, which is a slightly little bit bluer, I think. And we'll mix these. Rich. A little bit more green here. Very rich, kind of a brown. We'll get right to the white. Ooh, nice color. Very rich, earthy, chocolatey almost. You can see how this color can be very useful for trees. Again, portraiture, earth, and just something nice to paint with abstractly. A little bit more green into some of this. And back with the color. Different ranges, the gradients, and the variety of colors you get. So many different colors out of so few colors. That's the beauty of this, the beauty of painting. We didn't have to buy all of these different colors out of a tube. We just used a couple different ones. All right, let's mix this one in here. Well, this is going to make some really nice grays. It's going to be a little bit on the cooler side than the others that we've mixed. The reason is because this particular green just happens to have a little bit more blue tone in it, so it's going to make things cooler, because blue is the cooler color. And that's still a bit on the green side, but we're going to see what happens. So we see this kind of real dark greenish kind of color. Add some white. Beautiful. Beautiful, like almost a steel. Not quite, but a nice gray. It's a nice green gray. Such a good gray, beautiful gray morning on the river kind of a day. Kind of a gray. Yes, neat stuff. This is a little bit more of the green. And again, adding a little bit of white. More in some areas, less in others. Some is a lot of blending. Blend it, blend it, blend it. In other areas, we're just doing quick stroke blending. You can get the different variant tones, hue mixtures. Awesome. Add a little bit more red in here just to see what happens when it gets a little bit warmer and more on the purple side. Nice color. See the difference in these? This is definitely a bit cooler. Same in here. Pretty close though. That's a nice gray. Oh yeah. Very nice color. Add a little bit more green in here too. And then we bring this out in the white too. It really can bring out a lot of the hue in the color in a way. While it's not quite the same. So when you add white to something, you lighten it, but what you do is you take away its saturation. Saturation basically means how much pure color in something. When you add the white, you lose some of that color, but you can create a whole new range of brightness and thickness with the grays that you can make out of it. And really get a lot of, like when it's really dark, it's hard to see a lot of those, the nuances of the color or what, what is that? Is it, the darker colors really start looking a lot alike. And light, really, really light colors do too. This way we can just see the difference. Add some white. Look at these stones and buildings, clouds, any number of uses for these incredible colors. And now I'm taking some of this cooler, yeah, that's going to be awesome. Some of this cooler green with some of this cooler red. And look at these neat colors. Just a little bit on the warmer side and make this one even more on the cooler side. Add some white on into this. Look at that. It goes from being some sort of hybrid green to a beautiful gray. Different ranges, a little bit of extra red got in there. Very nice. Add some white again into here. Oh yeah, look at that. A little bit warmer, but with that slightly cooler green. It's such nice. Look at the comparison to here. Beautiful. Warm and cools and these different feelings and emotions. So really, that's such a huge part of what art is about. Not just representing something based on some sort of pictorial ideal, but a relationship with color as an entity and the entity that you might be painting, whether it's abstract or not, as an entity, and yourself, and all of these connections. It's just profound. And when you mix color in this way and you allow yourself to play around, look at that. Look at this beautiful color right here. What an awesome grayish, purplish kind of gray. And up here, it's a little bit more on the green side. And look at the difference. Beautiful. If you allow yourself to paint and play around like this and mix colors, you'll find all of these different nice, useful colors. Now, even as an abstraction, I want to come in and I really like this lightness and just bring in some more of that lightness. You start to have a nice flow of a piece. And again, when you add some of your bolder, richer colors on top or whatnot near this, you get another really interesting set of relationships that happen and the way they pops out. That's cool. This could almost be a story in here. Which green is, and what did he push this one down? I like that's not very nice. Or maybe it's helping it become a rocket ship flying into space. Yeah, that's nicer. But you know what I mean? All of these colors and forms it can take on relationships. It can take on personalities because they are. Each of these is a variable in a universe, like each one of us is a variable in the universe. So it's very important, I think, to see color as that. It's such an incredible, singular, wonderful entity that can be anything. It's awesome stuff. Anyways, you don't even have to talk about it, which is to say, like, it's just by looking and seeing the colors. That's why we get mesmerized by colors and sunsets and et cetera, et cetera. You could just look at these neat colors and it just, we're designed so that it can just explain itself. Whether we have fostered that as a species or not is questionable, but that's what we're here for now, to start to bring some more of that art back into our lives, exploration. See, that's a beautiful color too. Really nice color. A little bit more white in there. See the gray that happens there? Really nice green gray. Not Jean Grey. This isn't the X-Men. Green gray. We can just keep painting this, but you know what? We're getting pretty close. So you get the idea of the different grays that you can get by mixing the complements and white together. You add a little bit more white on top of some areas to just bring out a little bit more bounce, a little extra contrast. Because a huge part, and I hope you can see this here, of what color is how it relates to the other colors on the surface. It's not just about the single color itself. What's next to it? How is it mounting next to it? You know how this color here is a little bit different than this color here? Not mainly because of this and this, you know, like, or here where it's a little bit more steadfast, or, you know, we're just in different areas. You know, down here is different than up here. I love this. We can just keep painting and painting. So I hope that you can see, again, not only the usefulness of these colors as painting, but the beauty of them, the fun of it, the glory of the experiment, and being able to explore. So if ever you're stuck, you kind of want to paint, but you don't know what to do or how to get started, mix some complements and grays, browns, and whites, and just paint like this. And then if you want to add all these other colors on top to make some boldness and space, you can. But this is a great way to be able to explore and be able to see one of the many, many, many things that colors can do. All right, well, I think that we made a fun little piece here, you know. And again, sometimes painting is really just about the free-flowing experimentation and exploration of color, forms, and patterns. And as we explore more, we'll get a little bit more detailing and a little bit more of some of the cool things that art can do to really be like, oh, wow, you know. But I think there's a lot of oh, wow in just seeing what you can do by mixing some basic colors, red and green and white. Look at what we got. A few different reds or greens and reds and white, and just hundreds of different colors right here on this page. So I'm excited. Hold on, let's take a look here if we can. So this is today with the white, and this is without the white. See how dark that is? Even when we lighten some things up, and it's beautiful, all these darks. Look at the white. You add white, and we use almost the exact same colors here. Same reds and greens. Look at that. That's awesome. So hope you can appreciate what we've done today and the whole new vocabulary we're trying to learn here with our colors. Join us next time for blue and orange and white. We're going to have a similar experience, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So thank you all very much for your ear and your time, and keep making art.